Hey everyone, Brett Tremblay back again with another episode of Between Two Friends. And today is really cool because I have a guest named Jean Ginsburg who we don't know each other that well. I reached out to Jean because I saw that she was a fellow Inc. 5000 honoree this year. Jean, I invited you on and here you are. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Yes, this is super exciting. Thank you. And yeah, I guess I would call it we're new friends, right? So perfect. Yes, I love learning about what people are doing, especially people on the Inc. 5000 list, just because it sounds like they're kick-ass entrepreneurs doing some amazing stuff.
What you do in marketing and digital marketing sounds really cool and fun. And you've reached a level of success that there's so many smaller digital marketing startups that don't really reach that level of rapid growth that you have reached. And so tell us more about jeanginsburg.com and first of all, like what part of the country are you out of? And do you have national clients or regional? What your strategy's been?
I wouldn't say it was rapid growth. I've been doing this since 2013, since I started my business. So it always seems like it's an overnight success, but it's like a 10-year overnight success is what I seem to be hearing from others as well. And I'm in Denver, and our clients are all over the country, sometimes international too, but mostly in the US. We don't actually have any clients in Denver, I don't think, at this point. So it's all, I think it's changed a lot since COVID started, because now people are not like meeting as much, of course, in person, of course, because of the pandemic. And so I think a lot of business owners have like tried to change kind of their paradigm, like their mindset, and like had a paradigm shift, because it's like you don't necessarily have to have a vendor or have someone do digital marketing for you in your local area. You can find someone across the country. And so that's, I think, been a change for us. We've had really actually rapid growth this year. I mean, we had pretty good growth in the last 8 years since I started my business, but this year has actually been like a hockey stick. And I think part of it is because we're just seeing a lot of businesses realizing now that social and digital is not something that they can push off anymore, and that it's the cost of doing business these days.
It's a great time to be in digital marketing because everybody's digital now. So, but you already
At least we're moving in that direction, at least.
well, yeah, right. Especially the past 7, 8 months, you had to, but you made the Inc. 5000 off of 2017, 18, and 19 numbers, and now you're saying
Right.
2020 is a banner year for you.
Yes. Yeah, we've had, so October was the biggest month of our entire business in the last 8 years. So that was pretty exciting. Thank you. Yeah. So we've seen, and it's just been like, since COVID started in March, it's just kind of been like growing. And then like we doubled our revenue from September to October, and it was our biggest month. So it was pretty exciting, I have to say, to have experienced that and to have our team all come together and just have that be an amazing month for us. So we're just hoping that this sticks, and we're looking forward to what's coming up in the next few months.
That's amazing. Well, what is your strategy behind, what do you do different that other digital marketing companies don't do?
So I'd say there's a couple of things. One is the old one that a lot of companies talk about, customer service, but we really are huge on customer service. One of the things I hear all the time from prospective clients or clients is that digital marketing companies, they're like, yeah, they onboard you and as a client, and it's all cool in the first like few weeks, but then you get kind of shuffled around in the digital marketing agency. So we take customer service very, very to heart. And a lot of times I have a lot of my clients just on my phone, and I'm texting them and they're texting me. So it's like, it's a very much a personal relationship as well. I mean, I guess you can't do it with all clients. That's one thing, is customer service. And the other one is we definitely use cutting edge technology. So we are always on the lookout for what's new. Like, for example, a lot of our clients are using TikTok and getting amazing success out of TikTok. That's one strategy that we've been implementing with our clients, and that's been working really well for them. And so we're just always using cutting edge technology and just the latest platforms that are applicable to your business.
That's really cool. You heard it here, folks. If you want to get into TikTok, call Jean. Is it only if you're going after a certain sort of age group or demographic, or what have you seen work best?
The clients that I've had who have done really well with TikTok are actually immigration attorneys. I do have some of those as part of my client list. And so I would say for the most part, that's been doing well. I wouldn't say that necessarily like if you're a B2B type of company, like I myself don't really do a lot of TikToks because most of my clients are, I go after businesses, right? Like I don't go after the consumer. So a lot of the things I do, for example, for my business has been on LinkedIn, and I've been seeing amazing success there and a really good engagement there. So it just, yeah, it depends on your demographic and who you're going after. Like, are you going after consumers or businesses? So it's no necessarily like you kind of have to take a look at the social media platforms and see what's working.
I usually accept connections on LinkedIn, even if I don't necessarily know someone. Unlike Facebook, it's more business. It's like rejecting someone is almost like being in a networking meeting to me on LinkedIn, because it's all business. It's like someone's like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so, nice to meet you. And you're just like,
see ya. Don't talk to the hand.
Yeah. And so, but the autoresponders are inundating, right? You get these like, hey, Brett, I was checking out your profile, and my immediate reaction is, no, you weren't. I just dislike when people are disingenuous. If you're going to do an autoresponder, try being honest. Like, I didn't look at your profile. I do this automatically, but here's something free anyway, because I want to be different. Like that's a strategy that we have talked about, because it gets exhausting on LinkedIn, and you're constantly getting people that are just lying. And I know lying's a strong word, but it's true, and it bothers me. And look, if that's not to put anybody down who adopts that strategy, I guess, but how have you, either for yourself or help clients on LinkedIn, sort of stand out and develop strategies so that they do come across authentic?
So I've been working a lot on that for my own brand and my own company over the last, I've been posting, I would say, for a while now, several years, but I'd say over the last several months, it's been more, how do I do this strategically? And so where I've been seeing success is just posting daily and doing videos daily that are part of just my own brand, right? Whether I share a story or some results or something about entrepreneurship. And it's pretty short. Usually they're about 1 to 2 minutes long. I'd say 60 to 90 seconds long. So these are just some strategies to think about if you are looking to get more engagement on specifically on LinkedIn, or anybody who's listening. Try creating content that is relevant to what you're doing. So I talk about digital marketing and social media and entrepreneurship in most of my videos, and just be authentic about it.
I don't know how long we've been talking. I do have a lot more questions I could ask you, but let me try to wrap up with this.
Right.
And I didn't prepare you for this, so I apologize. But final two questions. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made in business that you think people could learn from? So a little bit of vulnerability here, right? Nobody's perfect. I tell people all the time, we work harder on our systems, on our people. I mean, if you saw how most law firms ran, like if you saw the sausage factory for most law firms, oh my God, you'd wonder how these people ever got a degree in the first place. They're just
Or how they made money.
total mess, right? They're just fumbling throughout their day, just trying to get things done, and everything's a total mess. And I think that's why we've been successful in giving people the right kind of client experience. But nobody's perfect, and I tell people that all the time. So what is your biggest mistake off the top of your head that you think we can learn from?
So that would probably be not setting up a consistent sales process for my company. And for many years, it was just relying on referrals and relying on just random leads that were coming in. And, I built a business through it, but it wasn't definitely a consistent business. And so in the last 6 months, I've definitely put a lot more effort and energy into creating a sales process, a sales strategy. I'm now working with a sales coach for my business. And part of the successes that I'm seeing is that it's just, I think, having something that's consistent, where you're consistently following up with people and you are getting more leads into the pipeline and you have a strategy behind it. And it's just like, it's a strategy. It's not just like, okay, random stuff coming in and I'm going to respond to it. Great. So I think that's been the biggest mistake that I've experienced, if I were to look back and I say, okay, had I set this up like 5 years ago, I think I would be in a much better spot right now than I am. I mean, we all learn, right?
Yeah, you think about it like a hole in the bucket. You're working really hard to build a business and you get leads and then you don't respond or you miss an email or you don't follow up and you kind of look back when somebody points it out to you and you're like, what
Damn.
yeah, what was I
Yeah.
thinking? I remember the first 2 years I had probably longer than I had this law firm. Everyone that called in, I didn't write down their name, I didn't put their number, their email, I wasn't adding them to anything. I had no ability to not only not keep in touch with those people, but even to keep their system in case their info in case I wanted to stay in touch with them. And then one day, like somebody pointed it out and it was like, wow, I'm an idiot. And I also like that you mentioned coaching and people have to be very careful because suddenly everyone's an expert these days. Everyone's a consultant. Like I can help you get leads for your law firm and I can like, no, you can't. I talk about being disingenuous. Like I help hundreds of law firm owners and the guy looks like he's 20. It's like, no, you don't. Why don't you just tell me I barely help any right now, but I'll hustle and I want to get started. At least I'll respect you for being honest. Like
Sure.
fake it till you make it means your mindset. It doesn't mean just flat out lying to people. So anyway, you got to filter through the noise there. But when you do find really good mentor, advisor, coach, etc., consultant, then they can really help your business move along quickly, which is what you said. So okay, last question then. What advice and people always say young entrepreneurs, you can be an entrepreneur at any age. And I think the average now of like people with $1 million businesses is the average age is 45 when they started. So that's pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
What's your best piece of advice for entrepreneurs?
I would say mindset, and that's something that I had to deal with. And I wouldn't say deal with, but it's something I had to learn as an entrepreneur myself. Is when I first started being an entrepreneur, it was just like, yep, I guess I just have like some sort of consulting, freelancing firm that rolled into an agency and rolled into my personal brand. But in the beginning, it was just so. And back then, I guess 8 years ago, there wasn't that much content. I mean, there was a little bit of content on entrepreneurship, but it just wasn't as big as it is now. And there's just so much more content about mindset and being an entrepreneur. And it's different how you look at your business when you're actually like wanting to grow it and wanting to be like successful. And it's not a mindset that I grew up with or even had in corporate America, because the mindset you get in corporate America is like completely different. So that's something that have had to learn over the last 8 years, and just looking at what success is as a mindset. So I would say that's what I would give advice on anybody who's listening, especially someone who's maybe getting started in entrepreneurship, is read some mindset books, look at some articles about entrepreneurship and mindset. I think that will be super helpful to kind of make that paradigm shift from corporate America or working for someone else and then having your own business.
Here's what I think is really cool about this conversation is you and I have never met. You live across the country. I am from out that way, by the way. I'm actually from Albuquerque. So
oh, really?
yeah. And you're in Denver. But you and I have never had a conversation, but because we're entrepreneurs, we're thinking along the same lines. And that's kind of a cool, I think, uniting thing about people who started a business and taking risks. I don't want to tell my whole story, but I've been on a lot of podcasts lately where I've told in my first 2.5 years is a big struggle. And it was all about mindset for me, fear of failure. But just to dig a little bit deeper on what you just said, to me, it's not just mindset, it's growth mindset. And comfort is the enemy of growth to me, because a lot of people, maybe they'll take a risk, but then they'll get to a comfort level and they're like, oh, I don't want to hire anyone else because I don't want the headache. I don't want to keep growing. And protecting your mindset as you grow, different levels bring different types of mindset protections.
That's absolutely true as well. Yeah. So it's like for entrepreneurs who are just getting started, about like failure versus success mindset. But then also, yeah, even when you're already in it and you're an entrepreneur, and then like having those comfort levels, I totally agree with that. It's I guess at different stages of your entrepreneurial journey, you'll have different mindset shifts that you're going to need to make in order to take it to the next level. Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
So yeah. Well, cool. Gene, tell everyone how to get in touch with you, because you work with people all over the country. So if anyone wants to know about what you have to offer, then please tell us.
I do, yeah. So you can get in touch with me on social media. I am all over social media. LinkedIn, I'd say, is probably the biggest one that I engage with on a regular basis. So you can find me just by putting in Gene Ginsburg or going to LinkedIn and putting in LinkedIn /IN /Gene Ginsburg is, I think, the URL for my profile. So, but you can also Google me and find me in on that way as well. And there'll be plenty of social media channels that you can get in touch with me.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining me on Between Two Friends. It's been a lot of fun. Congratulations on all your success. And, you know, I think that you're doing remarkable things, and that's fun to see. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. It's been a really good experience.
All right. Good to hear. We'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
Yep.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
Take care.